Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 13 of the Foot Basket Podcast. I'm glad you tuned in today. I'm glad you are here today. I can't wait to get to everything I got today. Gonna be going over who I think is gonna be top 10 5 years from now when it comes to the NBA, and in the NFL. I got a tier list for you guys. It's gonna be a buy, sell, or rebuild tier list and what they should do. Make sure to stay into the video for that. Um, if this is your first time watching the episode, I welcome you. I'm glad that you found this video somehow and that you are watching this and that you enjoyed this episode. I'm just going to be going over the NBA games at first and then get into the two segments that I had prepared for y'all. And then remember that if you have any quality issues, I know YouTube automatically does like the medium quality. You could always just go to settings, press quality, and do the highest pixel rate. Um, but yeah, I just want to first give all the glory to God. Allow me to do this podcast and let me be here today. I am so happy to still be doing this and enjoying it and being able to be equipped with the knowledge and the equipment I have, and I am just so grateful. So let's get straight into it. So first, let's just start off with NBA games. The first one I'm gonna bring up because we're gonna start with the first one's gonna be February 23rd, last Monday. So I'm gonna start with the Spurs Pistons game, which I feel like everybody kind of had to know about. This game was such a hard fought game, very physical, and I think, it would be a great playoff matchup. Unfortunately, they're both on different sides of the conference, but like I feel like a 7 game series between the Spurs and the Pistons would be like cinema. I think that's guaranteed a game 7. Um, and this game was I wish that the Pistons and Spurs could play in the playoffs, unless of course they play in the finals, but I don't think this year the Spurs are going to go to the finals, but if there's a chance, I think they do see the Pistons. I think the Pistons are coming out the East, but this game was such a great physical game and defensive game, and that's what I kind of like. I like watching defensive basketball games because there's always going to be scoring, regardless whether there's like a whole lot of defense or not. There's still going to be some buckets in there, so it was such a great game to watch. I don't have anything else from Monday. Tuesday I had watched the which one of these did I watch? Um, I saw the Knicks Cavs game where Harden's still playing really well. Jarrett Allen has also been playing very well ever since Harden has gotten there. All his averages are going up, stuff like that. And there's another win for the Cavs. I think at this point they were. I can't remember if it was Tuesday before this week that they had lost, but I think by this Tuesday they still haven't lost with Harden. I think they ended up losing sometime later this week. Um, but another win with Harden on the team is good for the Cavs and GM and the management up there, seeing that them buying into Harden was a win for them. So um, also, the Celtics continue to win, holding the Suns to 81 points. And I know that Suns team didn't have Book, they didn't have Dylan Brooks. But holding an NBA team to 81 points, I think is very difficult. And the Celtics continue to win. I'm pretty sure they're still the 2 seed right now. And Tatum is still coming back. So we'll see how the Celtics team continue to play. Like it's still insane to me how they continue to get win after win. And we'll see what ends up happening. A close game also on that Tuesday between the Magic and the Lakers. I didn't watch this game, but it was a 1 point win with. I know Paulo went off this game. Let me look at it. Yeah, he had 36, 10, and 6. So I remember seeing that score line. And Paulo will be mentioned later. Shout out Paulo. He will be mentioned later for the top 10 player. Can't wait to get over that. But that was a good game by Paulo, and see that for Magic fans, because they have not, this past couple weeks, Magic has not been looking too good. Not been looking too good. Sometimes they look super on, sometimes they look super off, and that's kind of based on their players, not really their coaching and their team as a whole. Cause that boy Desmond Bane don't know how to stay consistent, but yeah, and then another game, the Pistons Thunder game. I'm pretty sure this was without Shea, and it was still a great game. And I was surprised that the Thunder was still able to stay with the Pistons, which I think the Pistons are this past. I mean, the whole season, of course, they've been playing well, and of course being the 1 seed. But I feel like they've even stepped it up to another level this past like month or two, ever since 2026 has started. They've also just, I think they've taken a step as well. Um, Celtics lose to the Nuggets. The Nuggets are finally getting some wins together. They did just lose to OKC, but they had a little losing streak where they lost like 2, 3 in a row. and of course they're dealing with injuries, but they're kind of getting lower and lower when it comes to the West, where like now they're like the 4th seed, tied for the 5th seed, and like the Lakers right now they're 16th, so it could even drop down to 6 at this point. But a good win for them. And then I did just watch that OKC Nuggets game as well. I didn't watch it live. I saw it after, and that game was so physical. And I definitely know like the coaching and the game plan was to definitely just be more physical than them, make the other team be upset by the game and stuff like that. And I think that Thunder executed that game plan really well. I mean, there was multiple times where Jokic was getting hacked and Jamal Murray was getting hacked, and OKC didn't really care about the fouls. They were kind of just like pushing that physical aspect of the game, and I think it was a great game as well. And then also wait, yo, also I watched the Lakers Warriors game as well, and this was right after Clint Capella had tweeted out that he didn't want to be Clint Capella, and his man dropped 4 points. Which, let me look at this box score before I say what I want to say. DeAndre, oh my goodness, bro. Okay, so not only did he drop 4 points, he has 0 assists, didn't hit a free throw, 2 for 5 from the field, and he says he doesn't want to be Clint Capella, bro. 20 minutes, by the way. 20 minutes, by the way. Like, at this point, Jackson Hayes is outperforming DeAndre Ayton in 15 minutes. Jackson Hayes has 16 points, 5 boards, only missed 1 shot. I think that's a better performance, to be honest. Even though that's not really a good performance, but they had to bring in Maxi Kleber because, hey, Jackson Hayes, DeAndre Ayton combined for 10 points in 35 minutes. So, hey, the center play is not looking good out there. But that was definitely embarrassing for Clint, I really just called DeAndre Ayton Clint, bro. For DeAndre Ayton put that tweet out and then play worse than Clint Capella's ever played, to be honest, bro. I think I've seen better Clint Capella games in the preseason than that. But yeah, let's get into my segment this week. So I'm gonna be predicting, in my opinion, the top 10 players 5 years from now, which 5 years is low key a lot of time. I think this is pretty valid. The only thing I don't have on there up here is like anybody that's hasn't been drafted yet, that's still playing college or still playing high school, because anything could happen with those guys. I'm not even gonna try to I don't even be watching college basketball, to be honest. So I got no type of recollection of if any of them are gonna be tough. Maybe Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, and Cam Booz are gonna be top 3 2 years from now. I don't know, but I don't have them in here. I do have some honorable mentions that I want to go over. I kind of want to spend some time on these too, because there's kind of 2 groups in these honorable mentions. I have 4 players, and they're kind of both the same. So I'll go over the first group, which is these 2 people are young players, but they're already playing with stars, which is why they're not in my top 10 is Dylan Harper and VJ Edgecombe. I think Dylan Harper, of course, has top 10 talent and upside, but if he's going to be playing with Stephon Castle, if he's going to be playing with Victor Wembanyama, if he's going to be playing with De'Aaron Fox for the next 5 years, whether he gets that upside or not, he's not going to be he's not going to have that upside of being, top 10 when it comes to, of course, like points per game, stats, advanced stats, stuff like that, because you have other ball handlers, other star players on your team. Because when a team builds around you, like I think if a team took Dylan Harper in a trade or free agency or anything like that, and they built around Dylan Harper, I think he for sure could be top 10. But I put him in honorable mention because we don't know what his future looks like. And the same thing with VJ. I think VJ playing with Tyrese Maxey is going to hold him back from being a top 10 player. I think VJ has possibility. He's more on the lower side, but I think he has a possibility where you could build around him and let him be your star of your team and be one of them guys in the league. But like currently, he's of course be like the B guy to Tyrese Maxey, which Tyrese Maxey is gonna be mentioned later in this list too. And then my second group is these players would have made top 10, but we don't know how they're gonna come back from injury, and that is Tatum and that is Halliburton. I think Tatum would have for sure been in my top 10. I think he would have been 31 or 32. I can't remember if he was 26 or 27. Which 31, 32, which I have a guy that's here that's 32 years old. I have another guy that's 31 years old. And I believe both those guys that's on the list can still be hooping at 31, 32. And I think the same thing with Tatum. Of course, we just don't know how he's going to come back from his injury. And it's like, I don't want to put him into that top 10 where I could put other guys that I feel like for sure going to get that that upside to them. And as long as they stay healthy, they can for sure make top 10. So I didn't know where to put Tatum just because of we don't know what he's gonna look like. And the same thing with Halliburton. I think he would have been towards the top end of this list, like towards 8, 9, 10 area. But I think I mean, if I had this last season Halliburton and the number 10 guy, I'm for sure putting Halliburton. If I had Halliburton last season, the number 9 guy, I'm for sure putting Halliburton. But we just don't know how he's gonna come back from his Achilles injury, and we just that type of injury can really change your career. Like with Kevin Durant, it was a little bit different. He still continued to dominate. But there's certain players in the league that took that Achilles injury and they didn't come back the same because they always have in the back of their mind, hey, if I explode to the left, if I explode to the right, I might pull my Achilles again, and they don't want to go through that pain again. Especially guys like Tatum and Halliburton. These are people that are very explosive. These are people that are able to drive and make plays that are not just sitting in the paint or getting bored like a big man would. These are very explosive guys on the court. So, we don't know how this injury and these two people are gonna come back from injury. So that's my honorable mention. It's just Harper, VJ. I think if they were built like if the team was built around them, I think they could be top 10 players in the league. And then Tatum, Halliburton, we don't know what they're gonna be like when they come back. So I got at my number 10 spot. This was low-key a harder one because I kept like looking around the league and like which young players are intriguing, which ones are not. And I was thinking about J-Dub, you know what I'm saying? But then like, can SGA, J-Dub, and Chet be top 10 players on the same team? I don't know. So I put Chet at number 10. He will be 29 5 years from now. I think he definitely has a defensive upside, and I think just of course his defense alone right now is top 10 in the league, of course. And as long as he continues to build that offensive game of his and just continue to grow next to SGA, I think SGA will equip him to be a top 10 player. I think SGA is really good at being able to raise a guy like Jada, raise a guy like Chet in a way to help with their good spots in the spots that they can get buckets, the spots where they can grow in and shine in. And I think they have a good star next to him. If they had Luka, like I would be a little more hesitant to saying, if J-Dub or Chet was on the team with Luka, if they could become top 10 players. But I think Shea has that ability to go to a game with only having 20 points and letting Chet, if Chet's the hot hand, letting him have a cool 30 or something like that. So we gotta see how Chet grows offensively. And at number 9, I have Sengun. He will be 29 as well 5 years from now. This jump that he made this season compared to last season was insane because, like, of course in the playoffs we saw Sengun go crazy last year, but like his regular season was cool. Of course he had a little bit of growth, but we saw him in overseas when they were playing FIBA. Is FIBA the basketball? I can't remember, but whenever he was playing with Turkey, the national team, oh my goodness, we like I don't know if y'all be watching that, but there was such a impact on the floor that Sengun had that I knew once he got to the NBA that it was gonna translate, and it did. This season he's been cooking, and I think he has even more growth. And I think 29 is definitely that age. As long as he doesn't get injured, that he's gonna still be in his prime and stuff like that. So I got Sengun at 9. At 8, I got Maxey. He's going to be 30 years old. The step that he took this season as well was insane. Jumping up to 30 points per game and being top 5 in steals. And of course, he's not just a great defensive player, but he's getting those steals. And he's, of course, what's the word? Like, he's getting those steals that are helping from when he's being bad defensively, if you know what I mean. Like if somebody bigger, of course, is on him, he's not gonna be able to get that stop. But if the other team that transition, they're trying to make an outlet pass, Tyrese Maxey's in those lanes. So I think it evens out, and I think his offensive game's continuing to grow, especially that Joel Embiid is kind of getting less touches on the ball, and Tyrese Maxey having a whole lot of touches on the ball. I think Tyrese Maxey is a good guy to build around, and he's had this crazy jump this season. So I have him at 8. At number 7, bro, this one is like this Paolo Banchero. He has such upside to be a top 5 player in the league. He has the build. of LeBron James. He can shoot it. He can shoot the three. Um, he has the hustle. There's just some nights that Paulo, like, bro. I remember seeing, which I've been wanting to say this ever since I created this podcast. I've been wanting to do, like, go over like the evolution of the NBA, and I saw this clip of Paulo had who did he have on him? It was pro the point Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell on the Heat, the point guard. He's about 6'1", 6'2". Uh, the Magic cleared out. Let Paulo have ISO with Davion Mitchell on the post, on the left post or like the left block, and this man Paulo does a turnaround fadeaway in the corner three and bricks it. And I'm thinking in my head like, Paulo, you have 8 to 9 inches above this guy. You're about maybe basically 200 pounds heavier than this guy, and you're doing a post fade. And I know he practices his shot, and I know like throughout the season that we've seen such highlights of Paulo, but I genuinely think as long as he is able to recognize his game, recognize his decision making, he's still pretty young. He'll be 28 5 years from now. So he's 23 right now. So I just think he needs to grow that mental aspect of him. And pro, I think he could be even higher than 7. I just have him at 7 because there is that chance that like he just won't mature to the smarter NBA player. He has the talent. He has the build. I think it really comes down to his decision making. At number 6, I have SGA. He will be 31 5 years from now. I think he'll still be great. I think right around 30, 31, I think he'll start slowing down just a little bit, getting out of that MVP race, more just being one of the faces of the NBA without being top 2 MVP, being in the MVP race. I think the top 3 players that I have are gonna be in the MVP race like every season for like the next like 2 years from now, for like the next 5 years, something like that. So like once the 2028 hits, these 3 guys are for sure gonna be MVP race. But I think SGA is just gonna be a great player in the league at 31. I think he has that healthy side of him where he's in games, he's in playoff series, he's not getting injured. I know which is so crazy because SGA just got injured, but I think he's still going to be doing great things at 31. And at number 5, I have Luka. I think Luka's going to be great even at 34. He'll be 32 when 5 years from now, so he's 27 right now. And I think he'll still be a top 5 NBA player in the league, especially to figure out what the Lakers look like 5 years from now. I think at this time period, 5 years from now, the Lakers are going to be looking to win again. I think there's going to be definitely like a rebuilding era like 2 years from now once LeBron retires. And even selling a guy like Austin Reeves or trading him away, I think Luka's just going to be averaging like 34 during that time period. And then once 5 years from now, they want to start going for that chip again. Luka's still going to be the core player on the team, the number 1 option on the team. I think he's still going to be doing crazy things between now and 5 years from now. And then the top 4 is undisputed, guaranteed. If you don't think any of these guys are top 4, you're tripping. At number 4, I got Cade. Another guy that took a huge step this season and last season. The Pistons really hit on this draft pick. I think Cade is doing such great things with him being the only offensive player on the team. Like, genuinely, if I'm a coach on the other team, I'm saying as long as we stop Cade, let Star Thompson shoot. If Javonte Green want to hit 5 threes in a game, I'll live with that. You know what I'm saying? Tobias Harris want to drop 30, I'll live with that. But with Cade being the only playmaking player on the team, and for teams to throw so many things at him throughout this season, he's been going through all of it. There's been games where, of course, he's had like 16 points and like only a couple of rebounds with only like 8 shots, 9 shots in the game. But he's getting those assists as well, and he's top 3 in the league with assists as well. So I think Cade is going to continue to grow. I think Cade genuinely could win an MVP. I think between now and 5 years from now, he'll be top 2 in MVP 1 year. Whether or not he wins it or not, I don't know, because that boy Wembanyama is different. But Cade has just taken a step, and he's gonna be 29 5 years from now, so he's only 24 right now. So I know he's gonna be continuing to cook. I think, well, at my number 3 spot, I got Anthony Edwards, and I think, like I was gonna say, that Anthony Edwards will be better than Cade. I think Edwards is just bro. 5 years from now, he's already cooking so much, and he's becoming one of the faces of the league already so young. And he has such he knows how to grow super well. Like when he had that offseason where he grew his 3-point shooting, which was, I think it was last year, where he became number 1 in the league was the number one in the league with 3 pointers made. I can't remember if it was him or Malik Beasley. But what's it called? Like, Anthony Edwards knows how to work during the offseason. I think he will continue to work through the next 5 years and be top 2 MVP as well. I think Anthony Edwards will win an MVP 5 years from, like, in the next 5 years. As long as he continues to grow, as long as he don't have no off court stuff either, because I know that boy be having some baby mama problems or whatever. But as long as he don't got no off court stuff, as long as he continues to cook in Minnesota, and that Minnesota equips him to have that star player role, to continue to have those touches, to continue to have that success, I think for sure Anthony Edwards will be top 3 and will be an MVP candidate multiple times. 5 years from now, I almost want to put Anthony Edwards over my number 2 guy. Nah, I can't. I think this is the right. I think this is the right list. I got Cooper Flag at number 2, which we already know who number 1 is, so it shouldn't even be a question. But I got Cooper Flag at number 2. For him to be doing what he's doing in his rookie season at only, well, he was 18 half of his rookie year, 18 years old. Now he's 19. He'll be 24 5 years from now. 5 years of continuing growth for this guy. He has to be top 3 in the league. I think he will be. Him and Wemby will be the faces of the league, for sure. When it comes to just the stats, when it comes to the gravity that he brings on a night-to-night basis, I think, of course, in the Mavericks are on this rebuilding period, and of course, like the next 2-3 years, Cooper Flag is gonna have crazy numbers. But once they get that co-star with him, of course, I don't think he's gonna change at all. To be honest, I think even if they bring him a co-star, even if they bring him a guy like, if they bring him, I'm just gonna say random names, but if they bring him a guy like Cat, they bring him a guy like Jalen Duren, like a guy like Jalen Johnson, any of those guys, I think Cooper Flag is gonna do great with anybody that he plays with. If they bring him a point guard, like a Tyrese, they bring him a guy like VJ, if they even bring him a guy like Dylan Harper, I think Cooper Flag is gonna still stay that 1A role. He's gonna be one of the best players. He's gonna win it. I think he's gonna win it. Not in the next 5 years, but he'll be an MVP candidate multiple times. It's crazy to see what he's doing his rookie season. And especially that slow start that he had the first month, where it's like, yo, this was the generational player we've been talking about. But he took another step after that month. He went through all that talking around the media, and I know these NBA players be hearing that talk because that boy KD files got dropped. If you don't know about the KD files, you might as well look that up. But that boy KD be hearing that social media stuff, and I know Coop, especially at his young age, is definitely hearing it as well. And then to go through all that the first month to continue to get better from it, I think Cooper Flag's gonna go through all adversity and just be one of the best players in the league. And then I don't even gotta say much, bro. Wembanyama is gonna be 26 5 years from now. This guy's only 21 years old right now, and is a top 5 NBA player in the league right now. The talent that he has, the upside that he has, especially with his offensive game, his defensive game is already the best in the league. And all he has to do now is just continue to stay healthy. Continue, like, at this point, like, I think it's more important for him during the offseason to worry about his health and like his warm up, his stretches, the maintaining of his body more than like working on his game, because his stature alone is gonna get. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. There's been multiple times throughout the season where Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox are just throwing the ball up. They're just like, yo, Wemby go catch it, and he just catches it and dunks it at the same time. It don't matter how far he is from the hoop, and that's not something that's really talent. That's just straight stature. And of course, he's gonna work on his offensive game, but like something that's so important as a guy like this, that's like super tall and skinny, is that he really needs to work and maintain that his health and his body, because like of course we saw a guy like Yao Ming end his career with injuries, and I remember seeing like a report, like an article of like all the super tall players that's been in the league and how many of them actually worked out. And I want Wemby to really work out, because I think this guy will literally be generational, like top. He's already been generational now, but he will be a top 5 player ever for sure if he's able to stay healthy. So we'll see what happens. And I think, in my opinion, if I was like his agent, if I was like someone that's close to him, his offensive game half, like I'm not gonna say half of it, but at least 30% of it is him being tall. It don't matter if somebody gets a switch on him and he's taller. There's no talent. I'm not saying there's no talent to that, but like part of it's like no talent because you just had the height advantage to that guy, and you just have the wingspan and everything. So that's my top 10 5 years from now. If we'll ever get back to this, well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I remember and see if I'm right. But that's what I have. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of them. And tell me who would you put up here. So yeah, send a comment to this video. So yeah, let's get into what I have for the NFL cooked up. Let's get this. Hold 1 second. I have a little tier list for y'all that I'm excited to make. Hopefully we won't take too long on it. All right, so I'm gonna be going over whether a team what they should do. Okay, because there's some GMs in this league that are so stingy about rebuilding or selling. They're like they wanna hold on to that 1% championship team like for their lives. But some teams really need just to break it up, or some teams just go do that rebuild or whatever. So I'm gonna rank them between buy, sell, and rebuild, and then we'll go over each team just briefly, and then let's start with we'll just do how the thing has it. So we'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. They're definitely in a rebuild. There's not much to sell. They have Trey McBride. I'm pretty sure they say his his name. I don't know if I'm tripping. I can't think of his name right now. But they have Trey McBride. Of course, they have Kyler Murray, which I know there's been mad Kyler Murray rumors. But they're definitely in that rebuilding, and I think the GM is doing the right thing. He's doing that rebuilding era. So, also the reason I bring this up and I want to do this segment is just because of David Montgomery went to the Texans, and that's showing that the Texans are buying. They're buying into the season, which I agree with, because this defense, I looked at their free and how many people they were losing. They were losing like nothing when it comes to their core players on that defense. That defense was literally generational. So I think they really need to buy in, and that's why I'm gonna put the Texans in later. But there's some teams that truly need to buy in because they're not there yet. They're not on that LA Rams level. They're not on that Seattle Seahawks level. They're kind of just in that mid tier, and they kind of need to take that buy-in step. The Atlanta Falcons, in my opinion, they need to sell. I think I hope they don't do this, but they're kind of pulling a Steelers where they're just staying middle of the pack, and I think they need to get that top draft pick, try to hit again, because Michael Penix Jr. may not be the guy. I'm not going to say his career is like over yet. I think he still has a season or two to prove whether or not he's that guy. But to be able, even if he is, or if he isn't, you have, if you get a high draft pick next year, you could build that O-line, which your O-line isn't even bad. You could build that defense. But I think they should sell. For the Baltimore Ravens, you guys have to buy. Derrick Henry's getting old. Lamar is already raging because he keeps losing before the playoffs. You guys have between you and what other team is it? I gotta look at the team. Oh, you and the Buffalo Bills, the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. You guys continue to make the playoffs and do nothing with it. You can't make a chip, and I think the Ravens, which I'm gonna put the Bills in the same. They're basically in the same conversation. Is you guys have so much talent in your quarterback play, and you guys just haven't bought enough. I think you guys really need to buy into, especially like the Bills. They need to definitely buy into a wide receiver. The Ravens, of course, need to buy into a wide receiver. Defense on both teams are not too bad, so I think they just really need to buy into someone to be another playmaker on that team. The Carolina Panthers, put in buy. I think I feel like I've glazed them a couple of times through these episodes. But the Carolina Panthers really impressed me, especially that playoff game against the Rams and throughout the season. Of course, they're kind of in a rebuild with, they got the young draft or the top draft picks with Bryce Young and T-Mac. Well, yeah, T-Mac. But I think they're a year or two away from really trying to make that super far playoff push. Right now, they're kind of in the halfway. They're kind of in that middle pack. Like, oh yeah, we're good to make the playoffs, but we're not gonna make a chip. But I think a year or two from now, they can really be able to take that step. I'll put Chicago, of course, and buy as well. Chicago played so well this season. and they built this offensive line throughout this offseason. So now in my opinion, I think they just need to buy into more of their defense. Because Caleb Williams has the playmaking ability, even if his wide receiver room is weak, or even if his running back room is weak, which I'm not gonna say Kamananga is weak, but I think they definitely needs to buy. And then the Bengals, my opinion, the Bengals need to sell. Joe Burrow is gonna. I think Joe Burrow is gonna stay there, and you can have this 2-3 year period to kind of just lose and kind of just get those high draft picks, kind of get the with that talent back, and free up some cap space so you can sign some free agents 2-3 years from now. You can have the young people that you draft the next year be able to be stars in the league. I think the Bengals are not good enough to win a chip. I think they're just a few steps away, and they're trying to make it work with the roster they have now, but I don't think the roster they have now is possible, especially with, I think, Trey Henderson, I don't know if it's Henderson is leaving. But yeah, and then the Browns definitely in a rebuild. And I think, of course, the GM again with them, not like the Bengals. The Bengals are, I think the GM's delusional. I think he's trying to buy. But with the Browns, they definitely need to continue with that rebuild the GM is doing. The Cowboys. This one's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna put them in buy. I think that defense is the only thing that really held them back from making a push in the playoffs, in my opinion. Because that offense looks so good, but they were allowing 40, 50 points per game. So, like, it don't matter how good your offense is looking. And especially after them franchise tagging George Pickens. Bro, I think buying into that defense might be the way. And that might be the way to them making a playoff push for real. The Broncos, of course, just buy. Yeah, it's not even a question. He just made a Super Bowl. There's no reason for them to sell or rebuild. I think just more playmakers on offense. We'll see how RJ Harvey develops during this offseason. And then also like Lil Jordan Humphrey and some of those other guys that's in the wide receiver room and offensive room. We'll see how those guys play and grow. But I think they just need to buy into just a little bit more talent to be able to just redo what they did this past season. Okay, low key, some of these I feel like there's a lot of buying teams. Like I'm looking at the next three are for sure buy. The Colts, I don't think so. The Jaguars definitely need to buy. Kansas City. Okay, so I don't know if I want to create another tier, but I think I'm gonna leave it how it is. I think I'm just gonna have a lot of teams buying because I think that's how the NFL should be. A lot of teams should be trying to push that for that playoff. Oh, I'm gonna go buy for the Lions. Them losing David Montgomery, I don't think changes much, just because of how great Jahmyr Gibbs is, and how talented his roster is. I think they have literally one of the best offensive players in one team in the league, in my opinion. Just with the quarterback room, the wide receiver room, the running back room, all combined, I think they have one of the best offenses in the league. And I think they just need to continue as long as they stay healthy this season. Detroit Lions are going to be another team to make that push again. Packers, like I said, I think I'm going to put them in buy as well. Am I going to put the Packers in buy actually? Because now I'm thinking about it. Can the Packers buy into a championship push? Can the Packers buy? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm looking at the Panthers. I'm putting the Panthers at rebuild. I think the Packers do need to stay by. I'm looking at the Panthers, and I don't feel right about putting them out there. I think they just need to rebuild. Like I was kind of saying for them, I kind of already said a rebuild. It wasn't next season. I'm kind of looking for these teams next season to make a playoff push, and I don't think the Panthers can win a Super Bowl next season. I think the Packers have the ability to really buy into winning a Super Bowl next season, in my opinion. I think they look great this season. They've had some unfortunate losses where the other team was literally just balling out, but I think the Packers look great. They have the quarterback, and they just need to continue to just buy in and play great again. Texans already showed us this. They showed us this by getting David Montgomery that they are buying, and I agree because you better buy before that defense falls apart. Because that defense is literally generational, and you can't let that go for nothing and let it go to nothing. The Colts, in my opinion, need to rebuild. They need to go into that rebuild. I don't think the roster they have is good enough. I mean, it was a great run to see them go 9-1, and then of course to get the injury. But even then, I think that roster this past season was not going to win the Super Bowl, even though they were playing great. Same thing with the Patriots. I know the Patriots are playing great, but in my opinion, they didn't have, excuse me, that Super Bowl team, that Super Bowl like identity, in my opinion. And I think the same thing with the Colts. Excuse me. So I think they need to go into that rebuilding era. The Jaguars, I think the Jaguars need to buy. I think they had a great season, greater than people probably expected. They had that like vibe to them. They had that like no glaze, but they had like that aura to them that looked fun, and they were a fun team on and off the field. And I think they were very confident in themselves to make that playoff push with like all the off field stuff with them and like the clips and the videos. And Travis Hunter's gonna be coming back, and they didn't really, not to my knowledge, that they lost anybody crazy in free agency. So I think the Jaguars need to buy. Kansas City, I think they need to sell. They don't need to go into it because like with these selling schemes, the difference is that like I think with the Bengals, they need to sell, and then they could go right back into a championship contending roster 2-3 years from now. Kansas City, I think, in my opinion, I think the same thing with the Bengals is that they just need to sell what they have now, keep Mahomes, let them have this 2-3 year losing period, and then become a championship pushing team again. Which like I kind of want to put the Falcons in kind of a rebuild era, but they still have like Drake London, they have Kyle Pitts, which like are those guys that you really want to sell? Like those are people that you kind of like. So I don't know. I kind of want to move them into a rebuild because if you're a Falcons fan, you don't want to see your team let go of Drake London. You don't want to see your team. Maybe I don't know about Kyle Pitts. They might not mess with Kyle Pitts over there, but like these like Bengals and Kansas City, they need to sell with what they have. Like a guy like Chris Jones, like a guy like Karlaftis. For the Bengals, a guy like T Higgins. And some of the other players, just let your cap space open up, sign some guys 2-3 years from now, and continue just hitting the draft. That's my opinion. The Chargers. The Chargers are a hard team too because they don't seem Super Bowl like contending in my eyes. But I don't agree that they should sell. I think the Chargers are in this rebuilding era, in my opinion, with Justin Herbert and them. I think they just need to continue to build the offensive line, stay healthy. I'm gonna move the Colts up actually too. I'll move the Colts up to just sell because they're not really in that rebuilding era. I think Carolina Panthers have a chance to win the Super Bowl soon. I think the Chargers have a chance to win the Super Bowl soon. These two teams just continue like they're already in that rebuilding. I think the Chargers, they just need to rebuild and continue to grow that offensive line. They have the talent when it comes to defensive playmakers, offensive playmakers. So they just need to continue to just grow the offensive line, grow a little bit more of that talent on offense as well. And I think they will be good. And hopefully Omari Hampton has a great offseason and grows crazy. So then like next year we can put the Chargers into this bye and they can go for that Super Bowl push. LA Rams. Yeah. There's not much for y'all to buy because y'all not the richest when it comes to free agency, but of course with them just coming off basically one of the best teams in the league, there's no reason for them to sell or rebuild. Which I'm putting the Seahawks. I'm just gonna put them up there as well. They're in the same boat. One of the best teams in the league. There's no reason for them to sell or rebuild. For the Las Vegas Raiders, definitely they're kind of in a rebuilding era, just like the Browns and the Cardinals. They're getting Fernando Mendoza this season, so like this rebuild could be a great one. With Ashton Jeanty, with Mendoza and like whatever else that they draft, if they hit with their second round, third round, fourth round picks, this rebuild could be a really good one, especially after selling off Devontae Adams. If they even sell off Max Crosby too, if they even get like draft capital from like one of these teams that buy into getting Max Crosby. Hey, this could be a really good rebuild for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Miami Dolphins, please sell because I think they finally are. The GM, the management is kind of deciding, okay, we are not going to win with this team. It's just the Tyreek and which with Tyreek Hill leaving, I think that's them indicating that. But the Tyreek Hill era was not working at all, and they need to just sell what they have and then get into that rebuild. The Minnesota Vikings, I think they're still in that rebuild era where they could become a really good team. It just depends on that quarterback play. They have Justin Jefferson. They need to hit on their draft picks, and it decides what they do with JJ McCarthy. If they want to keep him, if they want to, try somebody else. If they even want to draft somebody, we'll see. I don't know what their draft pick is, but it's definitely in the middle of the pack because that's what they were. They were third in the NFC North. I can't remember, or maybe fourth in the NFC North. I don't know. I think they had like a 9-8 season. Patriots, I think they need to buy. I think their team is not Super Bowl worthy, especially with this season. They're really gonna get tested. How good they are, and how if I'm wrong, then I will apologize to all Patriots fans. But like I think this season with their hardest schedule that's gonna be coming up, they're gonna be really tested of how good they are, and that's when they can decide like what they need to buy into, or if they really need to just sell what they have and go to rebuild. But in my opinion, I think they do need to buy because they have the talent. They have also just that they have like that kind of like that aura that Jacksonville has with just the championship wanting and like the ideas and like the vibe that's in the locker room. But I just don't think they have the roster for it. The Saints just need to. There ain't much to sell over there because they want a guy. They want to keep a guy like Chris Olave. So I think I'm gonna say there's in a rebuilding era. They kind of gotta also find their quarterback because I don't know if Tyler Stokes. He played better in the second half of the season. So we'll see. We'll see what the Saints do with that quarterback play. But it's just definitely in their rebuilding era, just like the Browns and the Cardinals. The Giants, their rebuild I think is gonna be really good as well with Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors coming back. Hopefully he comes back really good. That is definitely the play. The Jets had a great selling season, selling off Quentin Williams, selling off now I can't think of his name, the corner, Sauce Gardner, and getting that draft capital, and for like Quentin Williams didn't do nothing. I mean, he did something, but he didn't bring his team nothing. What's his name? Sauce Gardner didn't bring his team nothing. So I think they got really good draft capital, and they had a great selling season, and now they're just in a rebuild area. The Philadelphia Eagles, bro, dare I say put them in sell? Steelers, just go to sell. Please stop trying to win. Sell your players. I don't know who you want to keep. If I'm in my opinion, sell Metcalf, sell even Cam Hayward. I don't know what you get for Cam Hayward. Sell him off, bro. Sell him off for a 7th-round pick if you have to. This team needs to get into a rebuilding area. They need to sell what they have. I still want to talk about. I don't know what to do with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm gonna go to 49ers. 49ers just need to buy. Their season could have been so much better if they didn't have so many injuries. And they still had a great season. And I think they just need to buy into their health, to be honest. There's not much for them to buy. They have such a talented roster. They just need to stay healthy and then fix any minor problems that they see as a organization. And then I think they'll be back into that contention again. The Buccaneers, I think they need to. Yeah, they need to sell. I think they're gonna go and try to have a winning season again, and I don't think that is the right way to go. I think even selling a guy like Baker Mayfield may even be the move. Just I don't know how old he is, but like if you sell the season, that's 2 years, 3 years that you're not gonna be good at all, and what's it called? Baker Mayfield is gonna be getting older and older, and you don't want to have by the time you want to start going for that championship run, Baker being 32, 33 years old, 31 years old, or whatever. So I think they should just sell. Hopefully that's what they decide to do. The Commanders are in a rebuild. The Titans are in a rebuild. Again, they both have, Commanders have Jalen Daniels. Titans have, what is his name? Cam Ward. Yo, I don't know why I blinked. They have Cam Ward, so they both have the quarterback play that they want, and they're both in that rebuilding era. They don't need to really sell anything. They're kind of just trying to hit on their draft picks, and I mean the Commanders looking to sell just a little bit some of the players that they do have for the talent that they or the draft capital that they can get. The Philadelphia Eagles, I genuinely don't know where to put the Eagles at because they had such a disappointing season, but they have so much talent on that roster as well. Let's just do this real quick. Where's it at? Where's it at? One second. You know what I'm saying? 1 second. Let's do this. Let's just make this easy for everybody. Let's just do that. That sounds about right. The Eagles aren't a confusing thing. I don't even know where to put them. They got their own little category. So this is what I have for buy, sell, rebuild Eagles. There's a lot of teams that's buying 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. And that should be pretty accurate. I think there should be 13 teams that are really trying to push for that Super Bowl. That's like about half the league. And then the other half are deciding whether or not they want to rebuild, or if they want to, or if they're trying to win but there's no chance. Like these guys in the middle, the Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Colts, the Dolphins, the Steelers, and the Bucks. There's no chance for them to win. They just need to sell what they have. These are just kind of the middle of the pack teams that need to sell. But yeah, so that's what I have for today. I'm glad if you're all the way to the end. I'm glad you stayed to the end of the episode. Just like, comment, subscribe. 75% of my subscribers or viewers aren't subscribed. So y'all gotta just lock in, press the subscribe button. I'm glad that you watched this episode. Send me any feedback. Also follow the Foot Basket Podcast account on Instagram to stay updated with anything. Can't wait to be here next week. Make sure you just watch any other episodes that you've missed. So I'll see y'all. Peace.